Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with our fourth video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Enotria, the last song. In the last video, we'd gone through the upper area of Quinta, and we'd defeated the next boss, and we've now gained access to a whole new area of the game. Now, before proceeding to the area, I'm going to show you how to get to that area, but first and foremost, I would highly recommend using a weapon that has fatuo damage. Now, it can be whatever weapon that you might have. I think for the most part, I don't know if you'd really want to use the sizzling torch if you have obtained it from the enemies that drop it. But the only other weapon that I have, or the other two, is the Knight's Monolith, which we attained in the second video, as well as the Funeral Flamberge. Now, I would highly recommend the Funeral Flamberge, but if you don't want to use that, that's fine. I just know that this area has a lot of enemies that are weak to this damage, and there's only one actual boss that we will fight that actually is kind of immune to it, so then we can swap to the Blessed Rapier. Now, the downside to the weapon, of course, is it is a bit slow, but the upside is if you chain its heavy attack into 2 light attacks, it goes pretty well. But for now, let's obtain our first of 11 trophies over this next section. Now, do note this area will probably get split up, so we're just going to head all the way back to the Field of Beginnings, and I'll show you guys how to get to the new area, so I'll see you there. Alrighty, now from here, it's a pretty straightforward path. Like I'd said at the end of the last video, if you talk to Pulcinella in the theater, he'll then have a unskippable cutscene that'll show you how to get here. If you wanted to skip that, by all means, I'm going to show you. That is the only downside to some things, is you just can't skip some of the cutscenes. But it does at least show you where to go for the most part. As you'll see, we can now go through this gate here that was originally locked. Grab this knot while we're here. Now, this next area is massive, and will probably be split up into maybe 3 or 4 videos overall. I'm going to try and get them all done and uploaded around the same time. That way you don't have to wait for the entire area to get done, just to save on time for you guys. So if it takes me a little bit longer, just know that's why. Now, up here, before you actually make it to the new area, there is a lumberjack boss, in air quotes. He's not really a boss.
Onwards! Onwards! The sun-soaked shores of falesia magna await!
But now we can travel to falesia magna, as Pulcinella has said. Now I will skip the cutscene, and here we go. Now, upon making it here, you should get your first trophy of this video. It'll be Caput Mundi. I hope I said that correctly. I'm not fluent in Italian in any way, shape, or form. But, like always, let's show you how to get to what we need and where to go. And do note that this area does have a lot of spear-throwing enemies, as you'll see right here. They don't throw it, they just use it as a weapon for the most part. But let's get started. Now, proceeding forward here, I'm going to show you how to get your first knot of the area. That way it'll just save on time. So, pretty much coming here, you'll have a path to the right, which will have an optional boss that we'll take on in just a moment. But if you come up here after grabbing that note on that corpse, you'll come here to the left, and here you'll see our main target off in the distance. But just right here we'll have our first knot. Can talk to Pulcinella.
Another hour spaventa, you see, icon of the meek.
It is definitely a massive tower, and this is definitely a large area. But like I said, for the most part, most of the enemies in this area are weak to fatuo damage. So coming back and off to the right here, you'll see we have the Poisoned Gatekeeper. As you'll see,
You will never be free.
the R2s do pretty well. You'll get his line and a upgrade stone for a weapon that does that damage. I'm forgetting, is it Medulo? I could always check. Milano, sorry, my bad. So yeah, if you happen to have a weapon that does Milano damage and you're wanting to fully upgrade it, the shard we just got from him is what's used to do that. So now we can then come back and come here off to the main path. As you'll see, some of the enemies here can hit kind of hard and kind of stagger you, and that's why I also recommend this weapon. Is being able to stagger enemies is going to save your life more than you probably know. So from here, it's pretty more or less a straightforward path. If you come here off to the left, you'll find a couple of items. A couple of upgrade stones, which is always nice for getting some of the new ones that we need. By the end of this video, you should have 11 new trophies. If you're fully exploring like I am going to show you, grabbing everything that we can. Now from here, we have our main path, which more or less is going to lead down, and a couple of side stuff. So I might have to just fight enemies along the way. But here we have a new NPC, Custody. And we're going to encounter him a few times along this area, so don't worry. From here, we're just going to follow this path over first to grab a couple of optional things. So from here, you have a jump you have to make. You can come over here for an ammonia amplifier, which is always nice. And then if we come here, we'll have a new enemy type who mainly does a bunch of range. Aside from the spear throwers, they mainly use elemental. But you'll have 3 items you can grab. Just upgrades and just currency if you need it. And then, like I said, our main path is going to be down, which is a little scary. And you have that little side area over there next to Custody, which I'm not sure what's the point of it if you have to drop down here anyways. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But from here, you then just come down here, as you'll see. And, yeah. There we go. Following this path down is pretty much the only way to go. Don't worry, you can survive this fall. It does suck that you do have to take some fall damage. But then from here, you just keep following this path down. Over here to the right. You'll eventually see you can just slowly fall. Trying to avoid as much damage as we can. For the most part, as you'll see. Then you'll just come to the back of this beached boat, I guess. Drop down into here. One more drop to end up all the way at the bottom, where you'll have this guy fighting a bunch of crabs like at the start of any RPG. As you'll see, it doesn't take much to stagger us as well. But we'll finally make it to the shores, as you'll see. And just up ahead is going to be our first actual boss of the area that is going to give us our first trophy. Now do note that they'll become a standard enemy overall. But this one will get us a trophy as well. There we go. Sound like that. And that'll get us the Sand Paguro trophy. Now from here, as you can see, we have a knot waiting for us, and we have a few things to take note of. So, the first things first is that we have two paths that we can go. One is a side path, and the other is the main path. Now, the main path is going to be up the stairs there, but for now we're going to wait to do that. But for the time being, we'll also just grab what we can while we're here. Grab the antique shell. So then we have the side path over here off to the left. Now we're going to be taking that whole path all the way through. So I'm going to go through, clear everything out that I can, and I'll show you guys how to grab everything. So let's get to it. Alright, now for some reason, I don't know why this item... Yeah, I was going to say, I know I grabbed it. Kind of weird. But from here, like I said, we're going to take on this side path. So first and foremost, we'll just run off all the way here over to the left for this note. Then we'll grab this item here, some upgrades. It's best to just kind of hover and run as close as you can to avoid the cannon. Then off here to the left is an upgrade. Nothing too crazy for the most part in this area. It does kind of loop in on itself. There's a new enemy type that you'll find in this area, or this little camp. Then if you come over here, we'll have our next combat rift that we can fight and deal with right here. And there we go. Just like that, they go down. Nothing too crazy. So then we can come over here and claim our 3 chests. There we go. Get a new weapon. And some lore. Because why not? Then we'll just come back. Just kind of follow this path all the way around here, as you'll see. And then we'll come off to the right. Now we'll have another new enemy type introduced just up ahead right here, and that is the Colossus. They aren't that bad. They hit hard, but they kind of are a little slow. Their main move is to grab giant boulders and throw them at you, which you can dodge. With our current weapon, though, it's like 3 hits and then they're staggered, so you can get a critical, which is pretty nice. Just using R1s, mind you, no heavy attacks. But then from here, we'll come into this little cave-like area, which has a bunch of crabs. Grab some items. Another valuable shell. Get an epicite block. Get some grenades that we can throw. Get some lore. Then we'll come off here to the right to grab a chest with some pesto in it. Then we'll come back over here for some more upgrade materials. Like I said, nothing too crazy. Then in this area, there's one single skeleton enemy, which you can easily take out. Over here we have Crabbert. I have no idea how to do his quest just yet. But we have acquired the Crab Venture and the Wheel of Fortune. It might be something I go over if we have to do later on. But for now, we'll just come back over here to this little area. As you'll see, we'll have found the Necropolis. And we'll find our next knot. I'd say that went pretty well. So now we'll explore this area and make it to what is our end goal, which will be another boss that'll give us a trophy. Huzzah! Now heading forward, just over here behind this tree, is absolutely nothing. I thought it was, oh well. But coming here off to the left is our first chest that we can find with some upgrade materials. Is it this tree? I forget. There's a tree around here, I swear. But you'll come over this little bridge for some lore. Then following this path up, we're first going to come all the way back here to the left. And just in here we have an item. And then we're going to come back over this way. Come inside here and head inside. There's no traps or anything. I'll try and point those out when I can. Then from here we're going to actually keep to the left to fall down, as you'll see. There is an enemy crab inside here. There we go. From here, we're actually going to come around the house to find another chest, as you'll see right here. For another Harmonia amplifier. Pretty cool. Then we'll proceed forward from here. Proceeding forward, there's not too much to really talk about other than a few items along the way. Now, when it comes to like bows and spear throwers, it's sometimes best to go for parries and dodges on them, because then that'll unravel them and will give you some time to make distance on them. But following this path up and around, as you'll see, we'll eventually have a path that we can take off to our right over here, but we're going to first come forward and follow this path around and complete another NPC side quest. Now this will get us a weapon and will require us to find some of the notes from a Quinta. Now before entering this building, you'll notice that there's a little trap, so you have to jump over it. I'll show you as I walk out here. As you'll see, if you step on it, it'll activate that, and you'll just get damage. Then from here, we're going to turn around and come over here. Then we're going to head inside for a chest for the Mausoleum Protector. Then from here, we're actually going to come over here, jump up, and come up here and talk to this guy. Now basically all you're going to want to do is give him the note, and then you want to agree. And he'll give you the Emerald Maiden Sword. Then from here we can just proceed forward. I might try and just walk through this area instead of trying to fight and deal with all the enemies. As you'll see. There we go. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, being able to get the staggers off is really nice. There we go. As you'll see, you more or less are going to start dropping down, and then you'll jump over here. There we go. Almost done. One more jump. We'll then come down over to this area here, as you'll see. Before doing that though, if you come off here, have some upgrade materials, and then you'll have a chest and some lore, because who doesn't like lore? We'll get the Severed Braid of a Maiden. Since this is the last stop, we're more or less just going to take a quick rest before we proceed to the end of this area. once ready, we'll come across and we'll fight our next boss and gain our next trophy. This is the Breach Defender. As you'll see, he's pretty tough. Ow. But not tough enough. And upon defeating him, you will get our next trophy, the Breach Defender. You also get his weapon and his line and his aspect. And that is going to more or less do it for this side area. So then we can now head all the way back to the beginning and proceed there through the main path. Like I said, this area is massive, so like I said, expect at least a couple of videos. So now we'll head back to the turf of the coastal horror. Yay. Now from here, we're just going to follow this giant staircase up. And there's only one thing to grab before we head inside, and it's going to be off to the right, and it's just some lore. As you'll see, you just come over here and grab this. Nothing else really, and then we'll make our way up and inside. Now this is going to be your main knot for a moment, as we'll have a bunch of side objectives and a bunch of shortcuts that we're going to be unlocking from this area. So just keep that in mind. Now also, if I remember correctly, if we come here over to the left real quick, follow this little area down, and come outside here, we'll find Custody again. Before doing that though, we'll come over here to grab this item, and then we can talk to him. Make sure you just exhaust all of his dialogue to move him to the next spot. Now, do note that his quest is kind of tied to another main NPC quest that we'll have to do that's tied to a trophy and one of the endings of the game, so just keep that in mind. But for now, we'll take a quick rest before we start this new area. My main objective, I think, is going to be at least completing this area and calling it for this first video for Falesia Magna. So from here, if we come down, as you'll see, there's not much to it, but we will have this to interact with to proceed. As you'll see, it'll create a bunch of structures and change a couple of things for us. That way we can actually progress through the area. So, yay! Let's get started. Now then, heading down the only path that we can take, I'll show you where to get... Where did you come from? Weird. The first two shortcuts of the area. This is going to be a shortcut for later. And then this is the first shortcut right here. I'll show you how to unlock it. So coming back up, following this main path, it's pretty straightforward, I should say. Nothing too crazy. We'll just come up here, do some jumps. Do be careful, as sometimes the geometry, as you'll see, can kind of bump you around. So you don't want to accidentally jump in a spot and end up getting sent off and die. It is definitely unfortunate. But coming up here, we'll then come and grab this item right here. An Ephesite block. Then coming here into this cave, we'll have a new enemy, the Huntress. If you do a running R1 into another R1, they are probably instantly dead. because the first one will stagger them and allow you to get a second off. They also drop their masks, and in the chest here you'll get the Brigand's Assault. Here you'll have another spot to jump over. As you'll see, the trap is pretty obvious. From here you have one way, and it's to go down, but before doing that you'll come out here, follow this around, and you'll grab this item right here, an Armonia expansion. Thankfully, you don't have to worry about fully upgrading your Armonia. There's, I believe, not any trophies related to it. So then you'll come down here, and in this little area here, you turn to the left, and you'll have your first shortcut. Two enemies in this little area, but they shouldn't be too much trouble. As you'll see, here we are. Back at the start. Ta-da! Now if we come in here and then come off to the right, have a couple of jumps that we gotta make, and you'll get a chest and some lore. You will get the Plagued Lights, and then we gotta make the jumps again. There we go. Now we can just head on back and continue the main path to get our second shortcut. I will state to be a bit careful on this next part, as the geometry of it doesn't play nice, is the best way I can put it. But from here you'll come up, and we've got a couple of ladders to climb. Now, once you reach this point, as you'll see, excuse me, you'll then notice that the world will shift back to what it was before you interacted with the normal symbol, or the Ardor symbol, I guess you should call it, all the way down there at the start. Nope, okay, that was close. But from here, you just kind of want to jump and kind of go right in the middle here and just kind of walk. As you'll see, it doesn't want to be straight up, and it kind of wants to push you left or right, so just try and be careful of that. And do note there are ranged enemies trying to attack you the whole time. But following this path around, we'll end up next to the other arm, as you'll see right here. And you can just jump down and then follow this around. Before heading up the stairs here, I'm going to say you want to proceed forward over here. You'll then come all the way down over here, as you'll see. Following this little cliff area, you'll then have this ladder right here, which leads all the way back to the start, as you can see. Ta-da! So now the first things up is we have our first side area to deal with right here. So all you're going to want to do is just start dropping down, as you'll see, nice and slow. Nothing too crazy. Right here. Then right here. And you're going to want to turn around and come out here first. Deal with these guys. Surprised he didn't die to the second hit. You'll then have a dog. And then you can grab the abandoned bell and some lore. The reason why I say you want to do this first is if you go to the other side, you can't come back up, sadly. So as you'll see right here, you can just drop down onto this chest right here for the Mystic Lights. From here you'll have this guy. And then you'll have this ranger dude trying to hit you the whole time. We'll come over here. Following this path around. I mean, it's more or less pretty straightforward, I'd say. Nothing too crazy. But this is a side area. But to unlock our next little shortcut, you can just come right here and kick this ladder down. Pretty easy, I'd say. But we'll just kind of clear the area out and show you guys what to do and what to get. Alrighty, so from here, we're just gonna head up this scaffolding. There are a couple of spear throwing enemies in the area, but they shouldn't cause you too much trouble. We'll activate an Ardor burst. Come across this newly generated beam. Head on up. There's only 2 items to grab in this area before you need to head back and all the way up. From here you'll come over to grab some nuggets, or a nugget. And then you can just come across and kind of follow this little area all the way around to a chest right here, as you'll see. For some sips of the past. Then we'll just drop down again, and then we'll just head all the way back and around to get to where we need to go. So we'll head on all the way back up. One more ladder. And we're almost there. Now from here we just have the staircase right here. As you'll see. Ta-da! And right here we have our next boss. As you'll see, he's very aggressive. And does a lot of damage. Well, not a lot of damage, but there we go. And he goes down pretty easily. You don't get a trophy or anything, but you'll get some stuff from him. A weapon. But from here, if you quickly come and jump over here into this little side area, you can get a chest. Do be careful about stepping on that middle plate, as it will cause a trap to get you. Okay, I don't know why it's not wanting to open the chest. There we go. Ta-da! Then, if I remember correctly, this is just a head or shortcut all the way back to the top. It's next to the first knot of the area. So as you'll see right here, if we open up this door, ta-da, we'll be back near the start of the area. Grab this chest. Then we can head back down. Definitely a long elevator for sure. Then from here, I'm going to show you where to go next, which is just right around this little corner here. As you'll see, you have this guy who's kind of just chilling. I don't know why he doesn't ever attack, but he just doesn't. Here you have a little ardor burst that you'll have to do. Couple of spear guys to deal with, nothing too crazy. Don't know why this guy thinks it's so funny. From here you have a very risky jump, and then you can make it back. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but you can. From here we'll just proceed forward. Do be careful of the trap on the ground. And you're more or less just going to be following this all the way around, as you'll see. Before proceeding though, if you come here, you can grab some nuggets. We'll actually have a guy that will fight us. But, as you can see, he doesn't really do much. So from here, we're just going to grab these couple of items and then take this ladder up. Some grenades. Maybe have Lemon from Backlogs do a grenade-only run or something. I don't know, it'd be funny. Take out the Huntress. I don't think there's anything secretive up here that we can find. But then we'll come over here. Follow this more or less. It's pretty straightforward. Got a spear dude chilling over here, I think, unless I already took him out. Yeah, I already took him out. Taking this guy out will get us a couple of things. That was close. But you'll get the Taranta and the Iron Impact line abilities, which is pretty cool. So from here you have one thing. So you're going to want to just drop down here. You'll have 3 spear dudes. Take out all of them. Then we'll take out this last one over here. Definitely quite annoying indeed. But from here we can then climb this ladder up. This will allow us to get this chest right here. So then we can jump back across. Swing over to this side, as you'll see. Have another ladder to climb. And we're almost done with the first part of this area. From here we'll have our next knot, and I'll highly recommend resting and putting some points into whatever stats you want, and then I'll also go over some stuff real quick. Like I said, the main thing is in your path of innovations, you're trying to get all the way down to this line right here. Now, depending, might be okay, depending on what it is you're going for. But, as you can see, once you do make it all the way to one of these final pieces that cost 300, you will then get your next trophy for Deeply Focused. Like I said, we're going to kind of level up a little bit. I want to try and get everything pretty close, I'd say. Then just go for some damage. Now there's just going to be one last thing to do before I end this video, and it's to deal with our next upcoming boss that'll get us a trophy. From here, we're just going to head straight forward. As you'll see, we have a couple of things to do real quick. First and foremost, if you come over here to the right, you can grab the Wave of Ardor. And just die. Okay, well, that's just, I think, bad map design. It's supposed to be a chill area, but no. Okay. Anyways, come pick up my stuff. Not die again. You'll grab an Ephisite nugget. You come over here for another one. There's not really too much else in this area, so I'll quickly go over this fight. The main thing to try and do is try and get her down low before you go for a finisher to try and not have her go into phase 2 or phase 3. So always start off the fight by doing bows.
What are you? I will not go easy.
As you'll see, she likes doing a bunch of ranged attacks. And she does a lot of these
Stay still.
melee attacks.
I expected more.
Okay. We'll just try that again. As you can see, she is definitely probably by far the hardest fight you'll probably have so far in the entire game. Even on story mode, she's difficult.
Beast, is the deed done? Who? What are you? I will not go easy.
And as you'll see, she can quickly melt you. Trying to stay topped off is always key here. Hopefully that was good enough. Okay, it was. Thankfully. Upon defeating her and doing all that, you'll get the Earth and Strife trophy. And she will then be an ally. You will unshackle her and all of that good jazz. And then one last thing. There is some lore. Haha, can't forget the lore. Then I don't remember if there's another knot on the other side over here or not. I don't remember. Ah, okay, yes, perfect. Grab the upgrade materials and everything like that. And that is where I'm going to be ending this first video. Now, like I said, I'm going to try and do all of these in one go for you guys, just to get them all done. That way you don't have to worry about waiting for when the next part of this area comes out. Excuse me, I'm a little tired today. But this has been Mr. Pilgrim. Like always, I do hope that these videos and guides are helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form. As always, though, I'll see you all in the next video.